Draco here with Bluescreen Bronies, and I have a special guest with me, Kimlin Tran, the voice for such works as Misfortune of Skullgirls, DBZ Abridged, and a certain game that I'm not sure we could talk about.
Oh, hi everybody. It is me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Really tired, but you know what? It's a brand new day. Lots of stuff to look forward to that'll perk me up and get me awake.
Yeah, it's like that in a lot of different places in the country. India, not like that so much. You wake up, it's like, oh, it's gray again.
Oh, in my case, it's sort of like, oh, what does the day have in store for me now? And then it's sort of like, oh, there it is. Huh, you're kind of little. Oh, wow. Now I know why I didn't see it. It's because I woke up early. Look at that. Huh.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately. Like, oh, man, I'm up before the sun. This shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, it's sort of like what I try to do is just go to sleep early so I can wake up early, but then it's like, okay, I was crazy. I was up really late last night and then I went to sleep. And it's sort of like, does that mean I'll wake up late, right? No.
Since we can't really talk too much about that game because it's being reworked, and everybody should know now, its main six is fighting is magic. You voiced Rarity in that game before it was reworked.
Yes, I have. But you know what? I'm looking forward to their new partnership with Lauren Faust.
Oh, we all are. I mean, it's Lauren Faust. You can't not be excited about it.
Yeah, and we know that beyond the ponies itself, most of the game is kind of, well, freestanding, built on its own, I believe. So it's like, wow, now that the ponies are gone and with new characters, it's like it can really be its own thing.
It can really be its own thing, and they can sell it if they want to.
Yeah, it's a real thing of passion and love, and it's like I just want to play it.
Now, you voiced Rarity in that game, and before it got closed down, I mean, how did you hear about this fan project that was actually catching the eyes of a lot of people, including major gaming sites?
For Fighting is Magic, first of all, I was a fan of My Little Pony for a while until I learned that eventually they needed voices. And I'm trying to remember if it was around the time when they began casting for Twilight and Mayor Mayor. And for me, I have only like two character voices that I could actually emulate because they were my favorite characters. And it was Fluttershy and Rarity. Fluttershy I did more often because friends asked me to do Fluttershy, but Rarity is my personal favorite, and when she was up to audition for, I just had to give it a go.
Now, have you ever got a chance to do your Rarity for talent?
I haven't had the opportunity. Maybe one day because she's such a great actress. I would feel bad because I'm all like, listen to me mess up your performance. but but I would like to meet her one day because she is so gosh darn talented. I love her performance on Rarity.
She is so silly too. I mean, she's just wonderful. It'll be a great pleasure to meet her myself too. So I mean, it's one of those things. Now you're also in another game, Skullgirls, which is a very hard fighting game.
I do know they have a tutorial mode that taught me the wonderful necessities of blocking. I'm still practicing that one, but it taught me that, and I gave them kudos for actually having the whole tutorial mode. But yes, Skullgirls. Well, lots of hearts go out to the Skullgirls, and I love that game.
The only reason why I knew about Skullgirls is because I followed Chris Neosi on Newgrounds. People might know him as his screen name Kerbifer. He also does the series of Tome.
And I voiced Granda in that one.
I saw that. He helped with the animation a little bit on that from what I can tell, and there's a lot of people on there who are just familiar with this fandom, like Rena Chan and Danielle McRae. She's just... They're both wonderful people, and I got to see you guys all at Caroline Gardens.
Yes.
And it was fun, I should say, because Danielle talked about her blood-throaty voice and did some of her pain wheel, and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, I think I think pretty much most of the cast got at least to over 200 lines across 20 something pages. For me, I remember it's 22-ish pages. So Danielle screaming for all across the all 200 plus lines and making it sound like she's in pain while she's attacking without making it sound like she is, same as receiving damage. Jeez, how are you not dead?
Sounds like a regular episode of DBZ.
Yeah, I do know they have those specials out there on the YouTube about all the screaming they do for DBZ.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, with your character Misfortune, it seems like an internet meme on steroids.
Oh gosh. It's interesting how when we were approaching Misfortune, we since she is a very fun and mischievous character, we also know that Peacock is has more of the tendency to break the fourth wall, and we had to keep her from being too similar to Peacock. But alas, cat memes, puns everywhere.
Nom 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 nom.
Nom 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 nom.
I do gotta say, she's one of the quickest characters that is on the game, as far as I can tell. I haven't played too much of it. Oh, I played enough to know that Peacock is broken.
Oh gosh. Did you play it on what did you play it on? The PS3 or the Xbox?
Xbox, personally. I don't have a PS3 because there wasn't too many games that I wanted on there until recently.
Ah,
They threw on a whole bunch of old games that I love on the PSN.
yeah, I do know that the patch is done. It's just that Lab Zero is kind of being held up at the moment. So that hopefully maybe Peacock will get fixed when the patch actually comes out.
Maybe, possibly. I mean, it's only $10,000 because it's Xbox.
Ugh. It's aw. But I do know that at least they finished the patch on that end. It's just taking a while because I believe what happened is crazy things happened with either Autumn Games or Reverge Labs, and the whole Skullgirls team kind of got fired, so to speak. But then they made their own game developer company, yes, that thing, and now they are on their own feet and they're doing their Indiegogo campaign. And you know what? More to look forward to. In addition to the patch, Squiggly will be for free along with their stage and also River King Casino. So it's sort of like there's so much to look forward to for Skullgirls.
Nice. I mean, when they started up the Indiegogo campaign, I was like, what are they doing? And then they raised like $250,000 plus, and they're like, oh, we're gonna give you like 13 characters, like release with this kind of. I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I think they got Squiggly on the first day. I'm looking at the Indiegogo right now because I'm just refreshing that page forever. It's just insane to watch everyone's generosity in motion. They're at 328 328 grand right now.
You know, I don't doubt it. There was a game that Christianity was actually promoting the heck out of a month
Cryamore?
ago. Yeah, Cryamore.
I'm in that one too. Haha.
Aren't you? Oh God, what's her name?
Bliss.
Bliss. Yes, Bliss.
Yes. It's a small world, this whole indie game thing. It's a very small world, but you know what? I'm happy to be part of it because by the looks of things, it's kind of like instead of just waiting for the AAA games to, I don't know, find it in themselves to take risks because come on, that's a lot of money flying around, so it's scary to make risks. But you know what? When you're in the indie scheme, sure, there's sometimes a lot of money involved, but they're more willing to take risks because it's the only way they can actually stand out and get played. And I'm glad to be part of that because oh my gosh, new games I've never would have guessed would come out from the AAA thing unless they were feeling really ballsy.
For your Cryamore, you play this. I don't want to call her pompous, but you play a prissy, almost like rich northern New England.
I won't lie, when they were holding auditions for Bliss, they mentioned that she was a bit of a brat, spoiled, and basically a long list of things that would count for a rich kid who has a thing for looking pretty. And I won't lie, I said, you know what? I don't want this character to be hated. It's kind of weird. I know because she's supposed to be a protagonist, not like an antagonist to fight against. She's one of the good guys. And I wanted her to be likable. And the other character I could think of that had similar-ish qualities was Rarity. And I did pretty much take inspiration from Rarity, and instead of just making Bliss more bratty, I just played up the comedy because she is supposed to be a comedic character. Another funny character.
Well, that's good. I mean, not all rich people have to be bad, or not even rich people. Just bratty people have to be bad. I mean, it's different.
So I'm really looking forward to playing Bliss, especially since it's sort of like since Main 6 was kind of like to show you can play Rarity type characters when technically I've been playing refined characters for a while now. Just Rarity is the most prominent one. Bliss is now her original character. Yeah, and she has the Rarity-ish aspects. And fun fact, if you're familiar with Erica Mendez, she's not doing it so much, but she used to do a lot of voice matching for Rainbow Dash, and she got cast for the lead. And we kind of joke that their personalities are kind of like, oh crap, it's the pony personalities. The main character is Rainbow Dash, and her pally is Rarity. What have we done?
Oh boy, let the ship fix continue.
We made them their own thing, but it's sort of like archetypes. You know, the commonality that lies beneath all the characters, not just stereotypes, archetypes. They're just so similar. Look at that. We have Rainbow Dash and Rarity. What have we done?
Yeah, they are pretty similar. It's looking to be a great game anyway, and the fact that they raised, what was it, $422? They got console support, I think it was. 422,000, I think.
Let me see the Cryamore thing, because it's been so crazy. I remember camping the whole month just to see, oh my gosh, how much do they have now? Will they be able to do that thing? And man, they did make it up to console support.
$242,000. Yeah, they made it up to console support. It's great.
I knew that Cryamore was going to do well because I've been following it for a while, and the way I see it, if it's a top-notch quality thing with love, people will catch on to that. And it did. I was worried that it wouldn't be able to make the full major voice acting by the end of the month, but I was very wrong. I was very, very wrong.
I'm telling you, when Chris Niosi tweets something, people listen.
Yeah. He's a really cool guy.
It got on Destructoid and Crunchyroll, and that just went out to a lot of people, so...
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of backers there. And the problem is now, since it's an indie development company, is putting out patches if patches are needed, because that costs a lot of money, like we said before, like $10,000 plus on Xbox 360.
Well, the way we look at it is that we're hoping that, well, basically these campaigns are investments, right? So we're not just hoping, we're trying to do everything we can to make it like a really, really good investment that's so good that, you know what, we can make back our money and do those patches as necessary.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk a little bit more about Skullgirls and how you actually got into character. Like for Misfortune, she seems a little random. She says she even says one of those things that could be one of her lines can be misconstrued for an older cartoon line. Remember a cartoon called Street Sharks?
Yes.
One of her lines is clawsome, and that sounds exactly like jawsome. I don't know if that inspiration got taken from there, but how did you get into character when you went to record for Misfortune?
Well, when I first got her sides, I knew pretty much as little as everyone else did. So I had to think about what kind of character I didn't know too much about her backstory at all. The most I know was basically her story as she and her gang, she was out to go steal the life gem. Her gang got killed. So did she, but she swallowed the life gem. And wow, now she's kind of immortal and she's making the best of it. And I do know that when we were auditioning for the characters, they said that she does have the capacity to have her sad side. It's just, not shown in the battle itself. But I had 2 takes. They didn't really talk too much about what voice they wanted. At most, they just gave more like character traits than actual voice things. They didn't say pick a low or a high voice. If anything, they said don't make her a high pitched cat girl, and they said for one of the takes, do a Hispanic accent. I did a more like a European Spanish take. I thought that would be the one that would get me the role if I wasn't, if I actually super wanted it. But I mean, if I was going to get cast for it, and then just me being myself, being very mischievous, playing around. And when I came in for my session, I did not know which voice they wanted. I didn't know if they wanted me the calm but playful Hispanic or European misfortune, or just no accent misfortune. And what happened is I got no accent misfortune, and I wasn't preparing as I didn't prepare as much as I thought I would because oh well, it's just me. How come on. How can you prepare to be yourself? But I learned that the part of the challenge was readjusting because I didn't prepare as much because it's not just necessarily me, but kind of like okay, if I was the character Misfortune. And I was since Misfortune was my very first big role in studio. I mean, I've had lots of big roles before, but not in a studio. I've been to the studio plenty of times, but I often did bit parts, incidentals, and additional voices for various anime, but not an actual standalone big part. So it was very daunting and intimidating when I went in for Misfortune. And eventually, it took some coaxing from Christina, but she was able to get me to calm down and perform the way I should. She even said, I believe, that sort of like, okay, you know those last lines whenever you're messing around? Those are the ones that are the most believable. Try to go to that place. And basically, the challenge from there was, okay, how can I be myself? Very believable, likable person. I hope I'm likable. A likable make Misfortune a likable person, and keep true to the vision of the game instead of just messing it up by being just Kimlin because we're playing Misfortune here.
I was asking because it just seems like for general cat meminess, go to I Can Has Cheeseburger, get into character done. But it takes a lot more preparation than that, I would guess, because it is voice acting. You got to get into character. You got to
Yeah.
be that character. You are that character for however long you need to be.
Yeah. Basically the baseline is sort of like getting into the mode of the character so the lines make sense. Otherwise it's just like reading off a bunch of memes. And one way to play it up is like she's a very mischievous person. I did mention that oh my gosh, Misfortune is a troll, and they said no, she's not. I can see what they probably meant by that because there are mean trolls out there. But I meant it more like she's one of those trolls that mess around for fun, not meaning to really hurt people. She's a Robin Hood kind of character. And the way I played it up was well, come on. To say all those puns, those have to be they had to be done on purpose. She was totally trolling Painwheel doing puns knowing that she doesn't like them.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely.
she's very mischievous. That's the main thing I did for Misfortune.
That would definitely get somebody's goat sooner or later. Now, you're also in DBZ Abridged. What character did you do for that series?
From season 2 and beyond, I voiced Chi-Chi.
That's a very likable character. I mean, she only whoops Goku's butt.
I'm surprised that people like her so much because she shows up so, relatively speaking, compared to many of the other characters, she shows up so little. And I really appreciate that because whenever she shows up, she has a punchline and she's out. And people like that. I do know that the how I got into DBZ Abridged was a very strange story because I worked on Antfish's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Abridged, and that series is really fun. I really recommend people check it out because his comedic timing, editing, and writing, it's just so much fun. And it's just like what, 10 episodes. Team 4 Star was looking for a new Chi-Chi because the last one they had was unavailable. They asked Antfish, what do you recommend? He recommended me and showed a sample of one of his episodes, and they had me come in and audition. And when I auditioned, I had no idea how popular DBZ Abridged was. I thought that the only Abridged series out there was Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. And boy, was I blown away when they're all like, okay, you got the part. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I recorded Chi-Chi and I was like, oh man, where did these millions of views come from?
Yeah, it was popular. It was very popular back in the day. I mean, I remember watching a few episodes when it first came out, and the only thing I remember to this day now, because it's been so many years since I've seen it, is the Krillin kill count or the Krillin owned count. It's always so high.
It's always so high. I really like the care they take into making their series. I mean, for most of the episodes, they do try to live direct me. Even for a little bit part, they still want to live direct me because they have a joke they want to tell and they want me to tell that joke. And from what little I was able to speak with them, they I do know that professional comedic troops and comedians, they would try to punch up and, practice, rehearse their performances, their sticks. And the thing is that if it wasn't funny, then they just left it out. They didn't just do all the jokes and just stick with it because some jokes are just funny at the moment and not funny, afterwards. From what I know for DBZ Abridged, they actually do have this round table thing where they brainstorm all the jokes, they tell them, they kind of step away for a while, then they come back and see if it's still funny, and if it's not, then they just come up with new jokes, but if it is, then it sticks. And I really appreciate that. That's a lot of care into just writing it.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, and a lot of people don't take that kind of work anymore. So that's interesting to see in fan projects, but not in the big name projects.
Yeah, the way I see it sort of like if they actually go into writing and they actually, go with it, at least they have the mindset that actually happens in the industry because I think that's what they do for actual cartoons at Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and so on. They actually do have those table reads and whatnot to make sure the jokes are funny.
All right, I got a few more questions for you. Basically, what would you recommend to people if they want to get into not necessarily a fan project, but maybe an indie project like Cryamore or Skullgirls, stuff that starts out basically from its roots as just an independent company and maybe get larger support after that. What would you suggest for people to do to get those roles or get those gigs?
Interestingly enough, you can only get them if you're good because I still have to audition like everyone else, and if I wasn't up to par, I wouldn't have gotten them. And for those, there are two ways to go about it. I've been voice acting for 5 years now, and I've been practicing on everything I could with a stronger emphasis on maybe parodies and mostly original projects. Because, the funny thing about popular things is oftentimes you don't know if things will actually be popular. So in my case, it's sort of like I worked on a lot of original projects, parodies here and there, because the way I see it, a thing about parodies is not just not fan dubs, though fan dubs are their own different a horse of a different color. For parodies, you are taking something, giving it its own unique spin, so it's not like a complete rip. You're developing your own skill, your style. For original stuff, they don't have someone for you to monkey. You have to make up something new, something unique to you, your own style as a performer, your own voice, you figure out your ranges, your strengths, weaknesses. And over time, at least for me, I worked often enough that people actually were familiar with what I could do. And then they just had me audition because they know that I would be able to deliver something. May or may not be the one they're looking for because I did audition for Parasol and Peacock, and obviously I wasn't the right fit like the other cast members like Sarah Williams and Aaron Fitzgerald. So you just keep, there's a lot of rejection. But you know what? The thing is that those roles probably weren't for you, and you just have to keep working hard until you get the role that is a good fit for what you have.
Yeah, that sounds like good solid advice. But I did notice two things in that explanation. You used monkey and horse of a different color. I'm taking it you're an Oz fan.
Oh, maybe a little.
You excited for that movie to come out?
Um, well, I'm not really like hardcore excited, but I always like seeing I really like seeing how people the art design of lots of different things because it's a story that's old as time. It's And you know what? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna give to this that'll make it its own thing? What are you gonna do? What unique spin are you gonna give to it? And I'm looking forward to what kind of art direction they're gonna go with it.
Now for a more serious question. Since you are a fan of My Little Pony and you clearly voiced for some pony project that is no longer there but is being reworked, and hopefully you'll still be voicing for it. What was your favorite pony before recording and then after?
Man, the thing is, I have two favorite ponies before then, so after it's kind of like it's super solidified. But before then, my favorites were first impression. I really liked Fluttershy because she's a very, very sweet but anxious little pony. And but her little lesson that she kind of develops through friendship is, you know what, there's lots of frightening things out there, but if you overcome those fears, you never know what you're going to find that's going to be worth overcoming that fear. Kind of like my favorite example is the So Many Wonders song because, oh my gosh, she's out of her comfort zone of the sky. And wait, if she never fell from the sky, she never would have learned about her love for animals and her wonderful friends. Yeah, and but the one that really took a while but eventually solidified as my favorite pony is Rarity because at first it took a while to notice because from the offset you're all like, okay, so you are the fashionista type, you're rich and you are very prissy. But I learned, and especially it's through Tabitha's performance, that she's a very, very generous and kind soul. And it's nice to see that she isn't just like a, stuck up for stuck up's sake. She's just, whenever she has something, she's willing to give it up. And over time, it's sort of like the more I pretty much got acquainted to the things that her insecurities and whatnot. I really like how Rarity, she has a big dream. She wants to be making dresses for the big league, so to speak. But she has big dreams, and so does Rainbow Dash. But Rainbow Dash's dream is like she just wants to be in the Wonderbolts and yay. But Rarity, the way I see it, her dream is more like to share her gift with the world. And that's to me like the biggest thing. She's an artist. She really wants to share the way she sees things and how she can basically make things come to fruition. And I just really like Rarity for that because there's so much more to her than, the surface. She's more than skin deep. And she's always learning. She's always developing as a character.
Yeah, you've always got those character flaws. Now, you seem to have a lot of big dreams, so I would take it you're a Luna fan?
Uh-huh. Yep. My favorite princess is Luna. And it's sort of like definitely count on the writers, especially Lauren, to create characters I can relate to. Luna keeps to herself a lot, but you know what? There's just like it's a little bit of Fluttershy, but not quite in that, if you overcome certain things, you never know what you're missing. And Luna Eclipse, she was all scary and intimidating, but she's just like, instead of just giving up and saying screw all these people, she kind of worked out a compromise with, how she is now others perceive her, and to finally, you know what, this is okay. We can get along. And people do like me, even if I don't think they do.
Yeah, Luna and Rarity are definitely two of the biggest trolls of the group, I guess you could say.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, Luna basically turns Rainbow Dash's lightning cloud on her. Scares the crap out of her.
She has a fun side, too. Even though she's all serious awesome, royal Canterlot voice. She still has a fun side, too.
Yeah, and she's kind of like your character Chi-Chi in DBZ Abridged in a way. She kind of just shows up, instant freaking clamor amongst the fans. It lasts for like days on end. And she's only on screen for maybe 2 seconds.
I play lots of characters that are like that the more I think about it. Like Persona 4 Hi, I'm Daisy comic dub that is made by Sapphire, or I think Strawberry Cream 26. I voiced Nanako in that one. She has so few lines, but people really like her. So the way I see it, and there's also like Amanda and Sanity not included. Lots of bit parts, but you know what? Yeah, I just make the most of what roles I have, and I love them, and I'm happy that lots of people love them too.
It's about time to wrap this up. I'm going to let you get some sleep since, obviously it's Thursday, gloomy and tired here in Indiana. I don't know what's like out in California, but It's gotta be better.
It's a mix between I'm sunny, no wait, I'm overcast. No, I'm sunny again. Oh man, it's overcast. Go back to sleep. And I'm all like, make up your oh well, I'll just like sleep in the chair while I'm working and typing crazy stuff on my keyboard.
Yeah, it's like trying to decide between Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Captain Crunch.
Don't do this to me. I'm not fully awake, man.
I'm going to give you the chance to wrap this up in whatever game character voice you want. You can use Rarity, or you can use Misfortune.
Let's see. All right. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think of trying to improv, man. Okay. Bye guys. You're all clawsome.